introduce your parents before they spank you? Because you are still their son.
Yeah, great. That was, yeah, I had to miss that. Yeah,
Sitting right here.
You're a little excited.
it's an overwhelming day. I imagine mom and dad really sorry. This has like Sports Center, not top 10 written all over it. So let's do this now. This is my mom's here, Chris Hurley. She's here, obviously flew in from New Jersey, and my dad, Bob Hurley Sr., who's a Hall of Fame high school coach at St. Anthony, and had some of the best years of my life when he wasn't yelling at me too bad at St. Anthony. But he's a legend in coaching, and so much of what I've learned come from just being around him my entire life. So I'm glad that they could be here today to share with me as well.
And Bob, we seniors take care of each other.
All right, at this time we're going to open it up for some questions. If any media has questions, just go ahead and raise your hand. Please tell us who you're with and your name, and we'll try to call on you here.
The only time they never have questions is when they're certain that everything you said will happen.
Go ahead, Devin.
Doug Howler, the Arizona Republic. Bobby, I'm sure you heard that this program has had trouble sustaining success over a long period of time. Just in your opinion, what is the key to not just making an NCAA tournament, but just kind of building that momentum to get to where you want to take the program?
Well, I mean, you have to set out your goals, and they have to be clear, and the message has to be clear, and you have to take all the appropriate steps along the way to accomplish that goal. And again, it's done with, for me, with building relationships with the players in the program right now, and getting to know them, getting to know what makes them tick, and how to maximize their experience here, and then for them to have an opportunity to get comfortable with me and my style as a coach. And so we're going to train at a high level. I think I've been exposed to some great things in my basketball life with my experiences at Duke, my time in the NBA, the 3 great years I spent with my brother Dan at Wagner College in Rhode Island. Everything I've seen has prepared me to provide these guys, I think, with a great structure to work and develop as basketball players and people. And as we go through that process, the passion and the expectations that the coaching staff will have, hopefully that will carry over and resonate with our players. And when we need to win big games, they're going to have our full support, and we're going to coach very hard, and we're going to do the best possible job to get that done. It's a blue collar mentality. I have a blue collar background with my upbringing, and nothing has really ever come easy to me. People have really always doubted my career as a player. They never expected I'd take it as far as I took it. There were questions about my experience coming into Buffalo, and in 2 years we won a conference title for the first time in school history, and that's with a team that was projected to finish 4th in its division last year. So my expectations and what other people's expectations are a little different, and hopefully we'll get on the same page with the guys and get that done.
Paula Bogan with the Arizona Republic, back here behind the cameras. Could you kind of expand, Bobby, on your plans to sort of attack the recruiting bases of California and Arizona, which this year, next couple of years, really rich in talent? I know a lot of people bringing up your East Coast ties.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that I have a national name. I have a name that people recognize, and my career as a player in college athletics and winning championships, opens the doors for me. I think my dad being a legendary high school coach that people know, I'd be able to pick up the phone and build and develop relationships with all the people I need to. When I took over at Buffalo, people had similar questions about how was I going to recruit the Midwest and be successful in a conference that was based in the Midwest with a lot of East Coast ties. But we worked at it. I hired a great staff that helped recruit, the major markets in our conference, and because of that job that we did, basically with all Midwest players, we were able to win our league. So it's going to take hard work and a lot of phone calls, and obviously just having a great staff. I had a tremendous staff at Buffalo with Levi Watkins and Nate Oates and Ben Wood, and we all worked terrific together, and those guys did a phenomenal job, and we'll continue to build it out here. We're going to recruit nationally as well. We're not going to just limit ourselves to any areas of the country. And in addition to that, I've decided to retain Stan Johnson on the staff, which I think is going to continue. Stan has great connections, great ties, great relationships with the players. Had several great conversations with him. I feel very comfortable with him. I think he's going to do a great job for the program.
Coach, Chief Licata, Fox Sports. Ultimately,
Style of play depends on personnel, but describe what style of play you would like to implement here, and also the influence of Coach K impacting your coaching philosophy today.
Style of play, a lot of it, it's a combination really of my experiences playing at Duke and how we played. And then also the influences of my brother at Rhode Island. It's a very aggressive style of man defense. I want to put pressure on our opponent, but do it in a disciplined way. I'm not the type of coach that typically runs around and traps and then gives up easy baskets. I want defensively our guys to lock down, to force difficult shots, to create some turnovers because teams are just tired of dealing with us at that end of the floor. On the flip side, I give my players freedom. We spend a ton of time on skill development and developing guys' games, and I want to put guys in great positions to make plays. This year we were in the top 25 in pace of play. It's a style that our players enjoy playing. We led our conference in scoring in conference play this year, and that's because we're going to play fast, and I think that style fits in very well in this league. We got to be in great shape to do it, and we got to work on our games at a high level. I don't know if we got a shot clock violation last year. That's not the type of coach I am. I don't micromanage every dribble, every pass. I like to put my players in great positions on the floor so that they could showcase their creativity. In addition, I am the all-time assist leader, so everyone has to play unselfishly on offense. It's one of the things that we preach and talk about. Last year's team, not this past year, but my first year, that team led our league in assists and was, I think, in the top 30 nationally in assists. So, I think it's a fun style to watch, what people enjoy watching. I think our fans in Buffalo have enjoyed how we played, and a lot of that had to do with the players that we brought in the program. Those guys were really good, and we'll work with the guys here to play in a similar way.
Richard and then Ashley.
Coach, Richard Sines here, Fox and Phoenix. You've obviously had a lot of success as a player, and that doesn't always translate to somebody becoming a good coach. What has been different for you? Has it been the influences from your father, brother, Coach K, or why has it translated to success as a coach for you?
I think first of all, it's what I saw. Growing up, my dad was a coach that cared about his kids a tremendous amount, and was very loyal to his program at St. Anthony's and his community. And the players at St. Anthony's were almost like extended family. So that's what I saw, and that's what I've taken with me to every place that I've been, to try and create that culture of family with our players, and we'll try and do the same thing here. Nothing was ever handed to me in coaching. I started out at Wagner College, and as an assistant coach, I shared an office with two other assistant coaches. We were bumping into each other all day. I did a lot of things related to building a program. I worked very closely with my brother to learn how to be a coach. I spent 3 years doing it, and then when I knew I was ready, I had a great opportunity at Buffalo and went with it. So, and then you go maybe in the direction of being a point guard. I just think that position, for whatever reason, you're a coach on the floor, you have to have a great IQ for the game. I never had an extraordinary amount of talent, so I always had to work harder than people and prove people wrong and have a chip on my shoulder, and that's kind of how I coached too.
Coach Adamson with Pac-12 Networks, hiding over here too, right? Yes. Hi. Have you had a chance to meet with your team yet? And if so, what message did you share with them? And if not, when will you get a chance to meet with them, and what will your message be?
Yes, we had a brief meeting.
Some of them are sitting right there.
We had a chance to meet briefly this morning, and again, just give them some background information on me and some stuff about my career, and then talk about briefly on philosophy and expectations, and then we'll meet individually, and I want to get a better feel for what guys think, and it's hard for them. This is not easy. It's when there's a coaching change and a transition, it's a big thing for the student athlete. So they're important to me right now, just to make sure they're in a good place and that and they're comfortable with me, and then now we just begin the process of building relationships with these guys.
Zach Rosenblatt, Arizona Daily Star, over here.
Okay.
I was just wondering how much stock do you put in rivalry games, and I guess how familiar are you with the rivalry with Arizona?
You may not know that that newspaper's in Tucson. He's sort of baiting you.
I got a feel for it already. Just the brief amount of time that I've been in town, you get a taste for it. I've been in a few of those myself in my day, just with Duke and Carolina and what that means, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. It takes two to tango.
Just ask him how it's been going lately. These are just facts you might not know. I think they're hoping to get about 500 soon.
It's kind of what I stated in my remarks. I live for those kind of games, and that's as a competitor. I think I'm a top competitor, and those are the games I want to play and compete in, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Coach Ed Cole, NBC Sports Radio, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach, talk about the importance of having a good coaching staff beside you to help you in this transition to your new position.
It's critically important, and like I said, with Levi now coming in and joining us right away, and Stan already being in place, more importantly, just for the players right now, they can count on having some people in place that they can trust, that they know that's going to make the transition easier. Because I'm going to be being pulled in a million directions here, and I already have the last few days. So it's amazing where you could be one day, and now you're here somewhere else. So my mind's racing. I'm gonna, and then obviously we have a big recruiting weekend coming up. So there's a lot of moving parts right now, and the staff is always important. I work very closely with my guys, and we function very well at Buffalo, and it was a big part of our success, just having that trust and having qualified, high-level people that you're working with.
And you're doing something later this afternoon that'll be the most difficult thing you've done in years. The small white ball that you're going to try to get from the pitcher's mound to the catcher's mound. The U of A ASU baseball game. Is that tomorrow?
He's going to be a
Tomorrow.
recruit. He's going to
Tomorrow you're going to be pitching baseball.
Bobby Eric Sorensen, Sports360AZ.com. Welcome. You
Thank you.
met with the team earlier today. What was your general message?
I mean, I stated it before. This team is, there's some talented guys in the locker room. Postseason is what it is. Making an NIT is you're playing in postseason, and I know it's not the ultimate expectation at a place like Arizona State, but it's still a very solid accomplishment. And there are guys that were on that team that you know, I wanted to just begin the process of them getting familiar with me and just learning about each other, and then, you know, as we move forward, we'll have individual meetings, and then we'll get to business on the court, and they'll get a taste of how I work and my style, and then we just, and we'll go from there.
Coach Cameron Cox, KPNX here in Phoenix. The Curtain of Distraction made a pretty big name for itself last year. What do you think of it, and have you seen it in action on TV?
I have not seen it yet, and you know, but I've heard a lot about it since I got in town yesterday, and it's, you know, it's creative, you know, from how it's been explained to me, and I look forward to diving in and really figuring that out at a higher level soon.
Good luck on that.
Some of them are in the room also.
I think it's an integral part of the whole college basketball experience, though, and being a student, and I obviously had that, it was exposed to that at Duke with the crazies, and we worked pretty hard at Buffalo to develop, you know, our true blue, and, you know, we want to connect with our students, and, you know, our players connect with them, and our coaching staff connect with them so that they support us and they enjoy the experience, because I know that the product that we put out on the court is something that people and students are going to be excited to see. So we want to, you know, we need that type of excitement when our guys play, because they'll respond to it.
Anybody else? All right, I think that's going to wrap it up. We're going to have a couple photo opportunities up here in front with Coach. So.